The manufacturing policy behind bringing chips to the United States originated in the Biden administration.
They can be changed with the stroke of a pen, and they may not even be legal. So they can be struck down 18 months from now. Another 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of this, and we're going into recession because businesses aren't going to sit on their hands forever, and they're going to decide, I am going to cut.
We've got a CNN panel to hop into featuring a chief economist. I know Trump's biggest kryptonite outside of black female prosecutors. So I thought we could hop in and see what we could learn about MAGA economics, MAGAnomics, if you will. But I wanted to ask if you could take a moment first, like the video, helps us out a ton. We really appreciate it. And otherwise, let's jump right in.
Why would any company locate and expand in the United States of America if they don't know what the tariffs are going to be? I mean, just put yourself, pretend you're a CEO of a major global manufacturing firm, a vehicle company, and thinking about building a factory. It takes 3 years to build a factory to start producing cars. To determine whether you're going to make that investment, you have to know what the tariffs are, because these are big tariffs. These aren't small tariffs. This isn't 1%, 2%, 5%. This is 25%, 30%, 35%. And so you need to have some clarity on that. But how can you get clarity? These tariffs are done under executive order. They can be changed with the stroke of a pen, and they may not even be legal. So they can be struck down 18 months from now.
Bang on. And the idea that this sort of uncertainty in trade, which essentially every corporation and many small businesses rely on, is going to fuel more investment in American companies rather than scare it away, is based in literally no bit of economic theory, which is scary, especially when it's Trump doing it. But no one who says this could actually tell you how it's going to happen with real economic theory. It's just Twitter talking points like, well, other countries have them. Why would they have them if they don't work? When we're talking about export economies versus our import economy, which are hardly comparable. But I digress, right? MAGA economics, MAGA education, those things don't go hand in hand, but it should be a simple theory to follow, right? Tariffs make costs for businesses go up. Ultimately, this hurts businesses' bottom lines. This makes them less willing to set up here as opposed to a country without these tariffs. With the uncertainty of them coming and going, that only adds another layer of friction to this for companies who possibly could come to America.
Here's a statement from a CEO today. Adding American manufacturing helps us better meet the incredible and growing demand for AI chips and supercomputers, strengthens our supply chain, and boosts our resiliency.
You're talking about NVIDIA.
The CEO of NVIDIA.
Yeah, but Scott,
how did they make that announcement today?
Scott, CEOs are going to make, why wouldn't you make that announcement? Why wouldn't you make that announcement?
You just said they won't.
No,
I'm saying they did.
Why they would do it anyway? They would do it anyway. And in many cases, they make the announcements and they don't. Foxconn's a great example of that. Go back to President Trump's first term. There was this big $10 billion investment that was supposed to happen in the state of Wisconsin. Go take a look at what was invested.
NVIDIA's going to make this chip in Arizona.
But why wouldn't you say that?
They say it's good for business to be in the United States because it's good for their supply chains and
just
so
think
on
about
and so
this
forth.
logically. Think about for the intuition.
I just want to also make a note that the manufacturing policy behind bringing chips to the United States originated in the Biden administration.
Well, there's actually twofold in answers to this, but I do love that the economists had the receipts ready. The first and most obvious answer is that companies are vying for exemptions. They know Trump is transactional, and if you can whisper sweet nothings in his ear, you can probably get him to do you a solid favor. Now, I mean, it's like, for instance, Zuckerberg and how last year he was all woke, but now he's sucking up to Trump and he's getting favorable things with the FTC, with AI and others. The second, as Abby pointed out, it has to do with the investments from the Chips and Science Act, which happened under Biden. And it's actually what has driven this surge in American chip manufacturing, where tariffs could help with it, yes, but this can't be said for practically any other industry, which is why the left isn't just saying tariff bad, but that tariffs should be targeted and non-targeted tariff bad. And that all tariff bad effect, but sometimes worth it. I digress. Essentially, though, we're saying you should take time to aim the gun and only take your best 2 shots on target as to not hit anything else and cause unnecessary damage. MAGA is saying, turn that sideways, empty the clip with your eyes closed, blindly shoot, and if you hit the target one time, you win, even if you hit a person, a car, a house, a baby, a dog, whatever else with it.
If we look at that CBS News poll,
which we
probably have, his approval ratings on handling the economy going down. And the 2 top people that, just to what Fareed just said, Americans believe benefit the most, 74% the wealthy, 71% large corporations. Now, whether it's NVIDIA or whatever corporation, the point is he's losing the confidence of the American people I think we're seeing that not only in the polls, but in the turnout at events where people are expressing their frustration. You have a lot of small business owners who also are very anxious.
Part of what the problem I have with the conversation is we're talking as if this is a fait accompli. We're talking as if it's done, the tariffs are permanent, recession is here, it's all over, doom and gloom. As Warren Buffett famously said, it's only a loss when you sell. I can tell you, Abby, I have not sold. I'm telling our advisors to stay the course. The game's not over yet.
Can I just say, though, we're right on the edge here. I mean, another 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of this, and we're going into recession because businesses aren't going to sit on their hands forever, and they're going to decide, I am going to cut.
He is exactly right here. There are multiple economists now predicting recession, guaranteeing it even if the trade policy doesn't change in the next couple weeks, where if Trump somehow manages to steer us out of this without recession, I can already guarantee MAGA is going to claim another victory, albeit a victory for Trump fixing a problem that he then would have created himself. But what the left should focus on here is Biden left Trump with a market that was closing at record numbers week in and week out, an economy that had fully rebounded and pulled out of the pandemic. It was recovering with no indications of recession. By all macroeconomic indicators, was doing very strong by GDP, by wages, by job growth. And within 90 days of this, Trump has turned that around to massive market loss, fear of recession, where multiple economists are chiming in that it's not only could happen, but that it's likely or will happen if nothing changes, and consumer confidence is now in the toilet. And this is all without him saving egg prices. This is all without him even doing mass deportations yet, like, the things he sold on. But at least he did get trans people out of badminton. It's only a matter of time before businesses really are going to look at this and think, okay, I'm done sitting on my hands. You're not going to look at losses. Corporations who are profit driven aren't going to look at losses week in and week out and decide not to cut jobs, not to cut wages, not to cut hours, or whatever they need to preserve their bottom line, which ultimately is going to hurt both worker and consumer.